Got a Kizer. It's one of these big cream box Kizers. This is a Kizer Corto. 3.4-inch blade, Azo design, KI 4459. S35VN titanium. Come on, does that not sound interesting? I love these old Kizers, man. I love finding them. I love collecting them, bidding on them, winning them. And I really love checking them in because they have turned out to be so nice. This is a used piece that was represented as new, which is most of these old ones are going to be like that. I mean, they may try to sell it as new, but the fact is it's coming out of somebody's collection. Somebody has owned it. So to say it's new, I guess if it's never been carried, kept in the box. Let's see if that shows out on this knife. It's got this bead blasted flat finish on the titanium, which would show any kind of snail trails if this had ever been handled. And I don't see anything on that side of the knife. It's got the same finish on the titanium pocket clip on this side. And I don't see anywhere on this one either. The images, when I looked at it, revealed kind of the same thing. Let's get the blade out. Wow. So the action wasn't great. I'm going to guess it's on washers. But here we got some designation up on that stonewash blade. It's S35VN, and then it's got the KI number. Stonewashed, kind of a satin stonewash. Definitely the factory edge. Corlo, Azo design. So it's got thumb stud. Yeah, the action's definitely got something to be desired here. 100% that's on washers. Yeah, I can't really Spidey flick it. And it's pretty bound up. It's got, I believe, this is micarta inlays in the titanium. I love this titanium finish. It's just rough, bead blasted, grippy, nice. These slots. Yeah, a lot going on here. But man, is that nice in hand. Wow. I'm not going to fondle it too much because the action's so poor. Let's go ahead and take it apart. We'll check it in, and if I can dance that action, I will. I think that's a T10 on that pivot. Yep. And then T8s on the scales. Looks like T6s on these inserts. Not a lot of tension on that screw. My guess is we're going to be locked down on this side. I'm not going to be able to flip this around. So I'm going to pull these from this side and see if it'll come apart for me. Yep, there it comes. Yeah, copper washer, and then it's got a Teflon washer against the blade. Small down here, so Teflon and copper. And definitely this knife should be running better than that. Yeah, we'll clean all this up and I'll polish those washers, and we should see an improvement. And this is milled. Look at the milling. See if I can get that to reveal. Like, it's really rough here, so I'll probably sand that. The pivot is captured in that upper scale, so there's no way to reverse this knife. I have to do it the way that they've got it. I don't see any oil underneath these scales, so I think I'm just going to wipe it down, and I'm going to try to smooth these titanium scales a little bit where the washers go. And we'll polish everything, see if we can't improve this action. Look at this blade. I love this blade. Definitely will smooth this off a little bit where the Teflon washers run. Man, what a cool knife. This joins a few that I have found recently that are unicorns, Bigfoots, Loch Ness monsters. Supposedly they're out there. People say they've seen them, but I've never seen them. Yeah, this is a new model to me. And as such, I get a little aggressive when I get around them because I've never seen one before. If it's one that I've seen and even if I've tried to buy it and didn't get it bought, um, I can make my personal assessment on what I think it's worth. And if it goes over that, I can let it go. I just go, I'm not going to pay that for that. I let a lot of them go just because personally, I feel like the price is too high for a particular piece. But when I come across a unicorn like this, I get a little more aggressive with my negotiations because I am trying to take it out of the market and get it in my collection. I mean, I'm having fun with these Kizers. They're not near on the level in my collection that Tucson's are at, as far as sheer volume, that kind of thing. But I mean, they're getting up there. Seems like every week there's some new piece that shows up somewheres, whether it's on social media, in a Kizer room, or a knife trade site, whatever, or even eBay. Did I say eBay? Goofy. So yeah, we're just going to put a good mirror polish on these. This is a 3000 grit belt. And you could do the same thing with, probably 1000 grit sandpaper. I think if you go to the right supply house, you can get 2000 and 3000 grit sandpaper. I would recommend the 3000 because it really does leave more of a mirror finish on these, which, definitely helps them to run better for sure. But if all you had was 1000 grit, you can get them pretty shiny and pretty clean with 1000 grit. There we go. Okay. Well, let's get to, oh, hold on. I want to put just a little bit on the scale. Oh, is that rough? Now, some would say, well, man, you're marring that up in there. Yeah, yeah, I am. And if I ever go to sell it, the buyer's going to be aware that, hey, somebody smoothed that in there. Yep. Hopefully it's reflective in the action, you know. But I'd rather have this scuffed up spot on the inside of the scale where mostly the washer covers it anyways, but I'd rather have that than poor action. Like it's a no-brain payoff or trade-off for me, in my opinion. And I would never sell a knife like this. If you follow my purges, the minute I take them apart, I sell them as used. Yep. Now, I'll say that it's in like new condition or it's never been carried, that kind of thing. I'll definitely bring that to the table, make reference to that. But once I crack them open, I don't sell them as new. You know. All right. Well, let's get it put together. Well, we're waiting. Wonder if anybody picks up on that. That literally just popped into my head. I think it's the way I said well. Oh, Teflon. And then I don't hesitate to oil these up. Like I'm not trying to be conservative with the lube on these washer knives. My commitment is truly to try to get it to run as the best I can. All right. Let's get the stop pin in there. It pivots off just a hair. There we go. I think I got you. Man, I really like the finish on this titanium too. Something tells me that's going to work out just fine. Yeah, that felt really good. We'll see. Don't be slipping with the screwdriver and putting no snail trails on this finish. Let's check the other side. And I'm going to check the pocket clip screws since I'm here. And the scale screws. Little insert screws, what I meant. Yeah, I couldn't even spidey flick it before. Now it's really snappy. Let me check it for play. Nah, it's locked up good. Let's mess with that a little bit and see where we're at. There's no back flipper, so yeah, it's the thumb flick and the spidey flick. That's all we got going here. The spidey flick's running really well. It's got great detent. So, I mean, once that detent breaks, that thing, I mean, it's running. I am having to shake it down, but it's a washer knife, you know. Now, I have some washer knives that run like glass. I did a Ganzo knife a while back that was on washers. And, oh my goodness, was it smooth. Yeah, this thing's just getting better and better. Which, you know, that's the history of a washer knife for sure. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and assess this action real quick. The lock bar, this scale is lowered. They're both scalloped, so bringing the thumb in is very intuitive, easy to disengage. Couple of shakes, blade is centered, spidey flick, yeah, no wrist, thumb flick. Thumb studs are located really comfortably and they run. Yeah, I mean, I could fidget with this thing all day long. And it's just getting smoother and smoother, more hydraulic. Yeah, I could slow roll that out really nicely, which, man, is that nice. Really enjoy doing that. Washer action. Come on, man. What am I going to call this? It's a B plus. It's pretty nice. Yep. I mean, the more I use it, it may creep into a A minus. But right now, I'm going to call it a B plus. Pretty solid. Let's talk about the ergonomics. It's kind of a sway back in hand. Like I kind of have that sway back feel to it. It's kind of got that arc. The tip is down low in the center here. We're well below center with the tip. But man, is it comfortable. Not so confident, very confident. I mean, the nature of this grip on this knife, I'm going to say that I'm going to bring it up to a confident grip. I mean, I'm really locked in, very comfortable. Doesn't have a complete finger guard, but there's enough of a one that I'm confident I could come forward with that. Now, capping it with my thumb, this whole, that thing, yeah, pretty nice. And then this, not so much. I mean, I can get in here, right here, and this would follow the natural arc of my arm, my wrist, my hand, coming down to that wonderful needle of a tip. But not really. I mean, it's just off just a little bit. Let's check the pocket clip. I mean, there's not a lot of tension on it, even on the thick stuff, so it's literally just going to fall out of that pocket. So I'm going to try to tension that up. It's titanium, but I should be able to get some tension on that. Okay, so I pulled the screws, and then I put a little bit of a bend, an arc in there with just my hands. I didn't have to use a tool or anything. And I think I was able to get a little bit of an arc into it, which should increase the tension. It's changed the ergonomics of that clip to that flat spot that they're screwed into. So the screws are fighting the insertion. There we go. Yeah, I could feel that tense up. I don't think I'll be able to lift it up now. Whereas before it was super springy. I get my thumb under it and just spring it. Yeah, I can't even pull up on it. Let's see how we did. Yeah, wonderful. It's a F5 clip now, man. F5 tornado grabbed this pants and fling it 20 miles from here. When you find them, this knife would still be right there. Nice profile. I mean, about 1/4 of an inch sticking out there. Got lots of grip to grab onto. I dig it. Let's see if we've got any blade exposure. Now we're good through the back. Got a lanyard hole through the 2 scales. And the tip is recessed. Woo, is that close right there, though. But the tip's recessed. So the clip's good, tip's good. And I'm confident I can handle this knife any old way I want and not make blade contact. Speaking of that blade, how are we doing? Looks factory edge. Yeah, very nice. It's shop. All right. Price and availability. Well, that's the thing. It's kind of a unicorn. What would I expect to pay for something like this? I mean, I'm going to say that the knife's probably going to bring over $100, maybe in the 150, 175 range. If you find a new one like this that clearly has never been carried and it's pristine. I mean, it's in excellent condition. So, yeah, the Kizer Corto. Appreciate you going on my Kizer journey with me.